Welcome to Chatting with Entrepreneurs. Hi, welcome to Chatting with Entrepreneurs podcast. I am your host, Carla Holland. I'm the Executive Director of Texas Tech University's Institute for Small Business. The Institute for Small Business has 4 federal and state-funded programs that provide free and low-cost services to small businesses in Northwest Texas. We have the Small Business Development Center. We have the Apex Accelerator. We have the Texas Manufacturing Assistance Center. We have the Rural Business Opportunity Program. And all of those programs offer no-cost, confidential business advising, training, and market research for small businesses. Today, we are chatting with Douglas and Natalie Marcille. They are the owners of Federal Business Solutions, doing business as Lightning Dome Protector. They are a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business located in Midland, Texas. So welcome, Douglas and Natalie.
Thank you.
Appreciate the introduction. Thank you, Carla.
I want to say we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to share your entrepreneurial journey. Our goal is that our viewers of our podcast are people that are interested in entrepreneurship, and they want to know, how did you do it? Or what did you learn? And so I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I'm going to start with, tell me about Lightning Dome Protector. What is it?
Yeah, so Lightning Dome Protectors has been around for 3 years now here inside of the United States, and we are a wholesale distributor exclusively inside of the United States for 4 different sectors. One of them being anything related to the federal government, anything related to oil and gas, IT in the state of Texas, and land and properties in the state of Texas. And so it's one of those really, really interesting products that for the first time ever, somebody can actually say that they can prevent a direct lightning strike within a protected area. It's the only device in the entire industry that can say that they are 100% effective today. Everything has always been about lightning protection, not lightning prevention. And so that's what really, really makes us super excited about being able to come on your show and highlight what you guys have done for us and how it's enabled us to really be in a place that we are now to really go out there and protect assets and save lives, which is so exciting.
So when you talk about lightning protection, who found this, Natalie or Doug? Who found the opportunity? It sounds like a Doug, but I could be wrong.
No, we were together actually when we found it.
Yeah.
So we started as an IT company, actually, a service-disabled veteran-owned small business. We'd been in the office solutions industry, and we decided we were going to be an IT company because we were both very good at it, and we started failing miserably because you cannot get any employees in the West Texas area because it's oil and gas. So to be competitive in this market, it is very, very hard. So then we were at a gathering together at a luncheon, a networking event, and someone approached us and said, hey, guys, look, this product, it's one of my friends, this product has been around for 20 years. It's never been struck. Y'all would be perfect for that because Doug had an electronic background. I don't have any, but I'm trying to learn. So he was in the military. He was a Marine for 10 years. He still is a Marine, but he was an active Marine for 10 years. Okay. And he had an electronics background with AT&T and with the federal government military. So it has really helped us grow and get distributors underneath us. And we have tried to just concentrate solely on the lightning prevention system. And if you ever want to do something really hard, become an entrepreneur at the late age instead of your early ages, and go and try to change everyone's mind about that. You can now prevent something that you've never been able to prevent before.
Yeah, and I think it kind of goes to say what she was referring to and the challenges that are involved and the difficulties of meeting some of the small prerequisites that are required, that PTAC has been instrumental in helping us achieve being able to get the service disabled veteran owned small business certification, and some of the programs that are available out there that, like you had referred to before, Carla, with that are free of charge or even at low cost, that is super helpful. And I mean, ultimately, small business is the backbone of the United States, right?
Yes.
And
Yes,
having
it
that
really is.
entrepreneurial spirit and wanting to go out there and spread the good word is part of, you know, why we're excited to be here today, because of the fact that I think it would have been a lot more of a challenge had PTAC or what is now known as Apex had such an instrumental part in the very beginning challenges.
You said a couple things. So one thing I appreciate Natalie saying, you know, being an entrepreneur is a challenge. I owned my own business. I can relate. And then Douglas, can I call you Doug?
Sure.
Sure. So Doug came back and said, hey, but there's help for it. So my first question is, what advice would you give to a person who said, hey, I want to start a business? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to put your boots on first. Anybody likes to say that they could do something better than somebody else, and having that mindset of going in and knowing that there are going to be struggles and failures, and knowing that if you have your boots on, when you fail, you're able to get back up and walk back up that mountain. You might only get halfway back up, and fall back down, but knowing that you're gonna fall down, but there are people here to assist you, to help you pick back up and start right back off. Just like when we started originally as an IT company and quickly realized that it was going to be a challenge for us to be able to scale that business. And then having this amazing opportunity with Lightning Dome Protectors present itself, created a perfect storm of us being able to, one, know the technology and understand it, and know the avenues to be able to move forward with spreading the information across the United States.
I would encourage them to reach out for the resources. You know, don't be scared to reach out and grab those resources that are available to you, because they have been very instrumental in Doug and I being successful thus far. So, and also you better lean on God. You better have a really good relationship with the Lord and really like each other.
I agree wholeheartedly. I love put your boots on. And I love Natalie saying, and ask for help. It really is that simple. That's one of the challenges I think small business owners have, is because they know their craft. They think I know it all. And so I love that. And I love the lean on God part. You know, if it wasn't for faith in God and hope, where would we be? And you talked about Apex before. How did you hear about Apex? Who was your consultant? Tell me what services they provided for you.
Yeah, so at the very beginning, you know, this is something that I did a lot of research on in the government contracting, and all of them kept talking about set aside contracts and even special service disabled or contracts that people maybe not necessarily have the access to be able to bid on until it goes to open bid, meaning that you see it 30 days before anybody else does, and have distinct advantages as a small business. And so I knew that it was going to be really important to reach out to them. And I was really super fortunate to have Mark Snyder. He is up in North Texas.
He's the best.
That's right. The best. And Rich Lyles, that were both instrumental in helping us guide the very, very complicated way of navigating what's called SAM, the System for Award Management, because of how difficult it is. You check one box and you delay your application by 6 months. And all of these extra things that come along with it and being accountable, we got to do the same thing for PTAC or APEC and all of those things, and provide all of those details so that they can accept us into their program and have special access to those contracts.
Just sometimes think, God, why didn't I do this when I was 30? Why did I wait until I was a grandmother to do this? I mean, I don't understand. And so, you know, that's the thing. If he can encourage the younger veterans to take advantage of everything that is available for them. Doug went to school. He just finished. He went 10 years And he
Awesome.
became a PMP and went to
Awesome.
Villanova and while working full time and then starting a business. And it's been really a challenge, but it's been a great challenge. And I think that everyone should take advantage of the resources that are there for them.
Awesome.
Yeah, especially being, we talked about the challenges multiple times, but the things that come up that are unexpected, that the unknowns are the ones that if we didn't have you all to lean on, would without a doubt be a huge rollback and very, very expensive, because the services that you guys provide are very, very costly, and there are traps that you can fall into with all the agencies that are out there that maybe aren't necessarily. It's not that they don't provide a service, it's just a very expensive service.
Yes.
And so having those federal funded agencies and state agencies that you guys represent are without a doubt making we're one of the success cases, but I'm sure that there are multiple cases where you guys have testaments to show how helpful you can be.
Yes,
I agree. And I know the word challenge came up again, and I think it should. I think, as you indicated earlier, people will see someone performing a job or a business and go, I can do it better, and do not realize all the challenges and hurdles that come along. And for some entrepreneurs, back to giving advice to those who thinking to start, it can become fear and they get stuck. So if you think about when you started 3 years ago, did you have that fear? And then how did you overcome it to pick your boot up and make a step and then another
we
step?
still have that fear.
You know what, Carla?
If you're not fearful every day, you're doing something wrong.
I tell you what, when we took that leap, because we're all self-funded, we never took any business loans or invested or anything like that, and basically jumped off the cliff and knowing that this is where we need to be, this is where God has placed us, and we know we're in the right spot. And to be honest with you, we're still free falling down off of that cliff, and because nothing's ever guaranteed in life, right? And so when we made that reference to the boots is that there's going to be a couple times where you might be going through the clouds and you don't know where the ground is.
That's true. You're so right.
And have someone to reach out there and be like, it's okay, you're going to be all right. The parachute's going to open at the bottom.
But I think also it's a balance. So there's a lot of things that God, no one else can do. And he always says, I feel like this is all on me. I said, well, I feel like this is all on me. And so, it's all, we complement each other, and his weaknesses are my strengths and his strengths are my weaknesses. So you just learn from each other every day, and you lean on. We have level 2 distributors, redistributors under us, and we've built a pretty good network of redistributors in different areas of electrical and different industries that they do, engineering. And so it's finding the right people in order to build what you want to be and build them at the same time.
And so it's funny you say that, because the question I have highlighted is, how many employees do you have? And then how did you find them?
We call them family. Okay.
Oh,
so we call her Denteco International, Denteco America, and then Lightning Dome a family. And we found them, actually, we found them or they found us. We don't know. We ask each other that every day, but we have 10 or 11 redistributors. Tower companies, engineering firms, electrical companies. So they're not 14 today. Sorry. But it grows every day. So you see, minute to minute, our business can change. They'll say, are you available? I don't know. I thought we were, but I guess we're not.
But one of the really interesting, cool things that I learned from Mark and Rich, through APEC and all of that is that because of the fact that we run a very lean model, in the essence of is that we know that we can't be there everywhere, but if we can build a team that can go out there and build it for themselves and us represent them, right? right? In the way that as if they're part of our family, like Natalie had mentioned before. And so, the same way that I leaned on Mark and Rich throughout the process of starting the business is the way that the same approach that I take to them, because I know that if Rich and Mark helped me out as much as they did, I can do the same thing and follow the same step and the path forward towards being able to be of some assistance, not all of it. There's
We
going to
can't
be the
help
same.
everyone, but everyone can help someone.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yes.
And it's interesting when I think about your product, how do you determine your market and how do you market to them? How do you get new clients?
Exactly. So the interesting thing about it is the market is unlimited, right? Lightning is everywhere.
That's true.
And unfortunately, everybody has always thought of lightning as it's just going to happen. And everybody has always taken the approach of trying to mitigate when it does happen, meaning shunting all of that voltage down to earth
Right.
without going through a building or an oil and gas facility, a chemical plant, an airplane. We think about all the times when we're stuck in airports because of thunderstorms. It's not so much that it's the rain, it's the lightning. And that people, when they do what's called a ground stoppage at the airport and you're stuck in there eating everybody's upset looking for a chair, and these are
Wait
the
a
kind
minute,
of
and paying for overpriced burgers. It's like, why is this burger $20?
Right.
That's exactly right. These are the kind of things that our product can really bring life change to, and the infrastructure within the United States. So when we're talking about the applicability of it, it's unlimited, and how we can go about it. So the fact that our device uses even some of the principles that was developed by Nikola Tesla. The fact that there is actually a naturally occurring positive ionic charge inside of Earth ground. And so by collecting that positive ionic charge, we're able to then place the air into what's called an equipotential state, meaning it's neither positive nor negative, and it becomes invisible, and you remove the path for direct lightning within that area.
Wow.
So it requires no power. It's 100% effective. And the fact that there are precious assets and daily things that go into our lives every day that we take for granted as, well, you know what? I'm stuck here in Houston because of the thunderstorm or something along those lines. Those kind of mentality is very similar to a car. When you first drive in a car, the seatbelt wasn't first there. And then so they put the seatbelt on it, but it still didn't prevent people from getting injured. That's kind of similar to the lightning protection, or lightning prevention. You know what? We're keeping you from getting in the car accident to begin with.
So now, Doug, you explained it, and it went over my head. So can you explain it to me like I'm a fourth grader? How does it work? Or
everyone says that.
Yeah, because on your website it said it protects your personnel and the equipment, and I'm like, okay, is it for me as a person to carry, or is it this? So explain it to me like I'm a fourth grader.
Yeah, so it is a facility mounted device. It's not something that you carry around like an umbrella, but however, like an umbrella, you can picture a dome being over you, a protective dome of invisible air that there are protons, neutrons, and electrons that are floating all throughout the air that we cannot see. Like when we rub our head on a balloon and it sticks to the wall. Those are the differences of a negative and a positive charge attracting to each other. And lightning wants to do the same thing. It's no different than any other electrical circuit. It's always going to find the path of least resistance. Just like sometimes you see a building next to the Empire State Building, even being as tall as it is, the shorter building will be struck. And so that is because that is where the most dense negative ion path is in the air.
You are so smart.
That is the easiest path for lightning to come to ground. So if you can create an equipotential area where lightning cannot travel, it's almost like turning off a light switch and the light bulb goes off. You are removing that connection for electricity to be able to pass through. So it's almost like completely always turning the light bulb off without ever having to consume any electricity.
Okay, I think I get it. I think it makes sense. I couldn't explain it to anyone else. So when you think about your business and being strategic, what do you expect out of your business in the next 3 years?
I expect it to grow exponentially. It already has. I think that we've come so far in 2.5 years, building that network, building the distribution network, building Lightning, a lot of different level 2 redistributors that we have. They're actually opening up just specific Lightning areas within their companies that specialize in installing and certifications.
Yeah, I think what she's trying to explain is that the seriousness that goes into mapping a facility, whether it be a little league baseball field, Texas Tech football stadium, we could cover. When they have game stoppages during thunderstorms or things of that nature, they clear all the players off because they don't want to get the players injured. But you can't empty a stadium in 5 minutes.
That's true.
And so the delays that are associated with it and the potential exposure of those players or the people in the stadium, we can now prevent that from ever happening. So one, you can continue to play, which is exciting, right? Go Raiders.
I just want to be able to save lives and save assets. And when I talk about assets, you're using a computer right now. People are using data, things hold our data. And we want to make sure that we can protect that and that a lightning strike doesn't wipe everything out. Because sometimes people, that's their whole lives.
And having that vision of a 3, 5, and 10-year plan of moving forward to being able to live our dream of being able to save somebody's life.
Wow, that sounds really, really awesome. I am going to ask my final question as we come to a close. As you look over the 2.5 years that you've been in business, what have you learned?
You better be loyal. You better be patient. You better lean on God. And you better have a lot of soul and heart. Passionate. Because if you're not passionate and you don't have the heart, you're not going to make it. We look at each other. I'm like, are we doing the right thing? And the Lord tells you, I'm one that I'm like, I know God, when I get upset, I want to take that back out of his hands and make sure that everything's going okay. But it's leaving that, having the faith in each other and knowing that we have something that's going to change the world. We're changing the way the world looks at life.
That's awesome.
And knowing the fact that the challenges that are to come, maybe not necessarily that we've overcome to date, because we've already overcome them and we leave them in the past, and we've got to continue to move forward. And knowing that you grow more and more confident every single day as that happens, but having the focus of how are you going to approach that challenge? Who are your key people that you can go out to and that can help you, just like, the Apex group or any of those kind of things along the way. And so I think it's super, super important that as we continue to climb that ladder up to preventing everybody or protecting everybody from the actual lightning itself, knowing that we have to have faith and worry about the small things, and so that the way the big things can still happen. And what I mean by that, it was here recently, and I know we're getting towards the end, but just recently went to a fundraiser, and Dallas Jenkins, that he's the director for the movie The Chosen, and he said, if you focus on the things that are in front of you that you can control, God will let everything else happen around you. And he said, you always to focus on your 5 loaves and 2 fish, and the 5 loaves and 2 fish will feed the thousands. And so in having that fundamental foundation, I feel comfortable knowing that we're in the right place at the right time and want to fundamentally help people.
I think that's awesome. Would you share with our listeners your website and how they can get in contact with you?
Absolutely. So Lightning Dome Protectors, it's www.lightningdp, like Delta Paul, .com. We also have a YouTube channel that you can go to with that exact same address under YouTube, and are able to see any of the videos where we were just recently hosted with Ted Danson on advancements on a national broadcast that we were super excited about, and certainly wouldn't have been able to be in that position if it weren't for the help for the APAC group.
Awesome. Well, Natalie and Doug, thank you so much for your time and for sharing
you.
your information. Myself, and I'm sure our listeners will truly get some information to help us overcome challenges and keep our boots on as we move forward. Thank you.
That's it.
And
Yes,
thank you
ma'am.
for
so
your
much.
service
Thank you.
too. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
service.